Greetings, folks. Cross-Train here, coming to you today from World of Tanks. It's been a while since I brought you a replay in World of Tanks, frankly, because I've been on a kind of horrific run lately, so I haven't really had a game that's really worth mentioning. But let me go ahead and get this thing rolling, and we'll talk through the Centurion Mark 7-1, which is a Tier 9 British medium tank. It is a beauty. So this tank is much like the French tanks. The French heavies play and feel a lot like mediums. I would say the British medium line thus far, and certainly is true with this tank, feels an awful lot like heavies. So it kind of moves like a heavy. It's not real fast, not real mobile, frankly, it's got the armor of, in some regards, of some of the meteor heavies, particularly if you can get this thing hauled down. So this is a tank which hauls down very, very nicely. It's a good-looking tank. Take a look as you go up. Good-looking in that very British kind of interesting turret. Kind of way. I really, really enjoy this tank, and you're going to see that even when I get right here, I got plenty of gun depression to, and I have T-49 just took my track out is all, and I certainly wasn't going to waste my repair kit on that. He did hit me with HE, so he was able to splash me for a couple hundred. This is what a T-49 does. But I do have 1,720 hit points, so wasn't terribly worried about that, although it isn't going to get much better here. Once again, he was quicker on the trigger. I decided I'm going to go push on him until I get around the corner, and oops, that's what I see. And, of course, I have a tank that cuts me off. Not once, and now I decide I do use my repair kit, not once, but twice. He almost kept me from getting back to safety. At any rate, so this tank feels an awful lot like a heavy. It moves like a heavy. You can see early here, that was a tactical error, certainly, a real error on my part to go after that T-49. I should have waited. I didn't, and much to my surprise, I saw that T-32 and the WZ-111-14, which is a Tier 9 Chinese heavy, and obviously the T-32 is the American Tier 8 heavy. But should have waited, but I didn't, and so I got caught with my pants down a little bit, and I've lost 75% of my health, just 25% left. So I'm sitting here just waiting for one of them to make a mistake and come around the corner. That's kind of what I was thinking at this point. And then I see that I've got this IS-8 behind me, their own WZ-111-14 facing off against them. And so I decided to come over here and try to take a shot when I could. I do pop a Tiger 2 that's down in the road down below. And you'll see that our IS-3 that's down below popped his IS-8, so he's done. So at this point, I think we're clear on the bottom side of the castle, so I'm going to swing around and try to get into the backside of these tanks. That's, again, what I'm thinking as I go around this. I am trying to be very careful not to get shot from below, so I'm hugging that wall, the seat wall, if you will, very tightly. Of course, these guys see me coming, but there's not much. The turret on this thing is a monster. So I pop a shot into him. He gets wasted. The T-49s, his days are numbered. And fortunately for him, he gets away before I'm able to put a shot into him. So, things are going pretty well for our team. I decide that I'm going to try to take some more shots down into their tanks. You can see that they're doing a very nice job of just allowing me to shoot into them. I'm not sure they knew where they were being shot from, but I did decide that I was going to stay here, take a couple more shots if I could. So this 7-1 has just great great turret armor, so if you can get hulled down on this thing, then you really can bounce a lot of shots. Here goes that T-49, who I'm going to get a nice shot into as he rolls by. But if you can get this thing hull down, it plays a lot like a heavy. Then you can literally, as you'll see in a minute, you can face off against some pretty big tanks. But it's a really nice tank. This tank reminds me a lot in how much I like it of the T-44. If you follow my channel, you know that when I started the T-44, I was kind of about it. But the more I played it, the more I fell in love with it, and the more I figured out how to use it, the more I loved it. I have had this tank, as I do with almost all my tanks now. Again, if you follow my channel, you know this is true. I don't play stock tanks much anymore, so I fully upgraded this thing from the first day I bought it. So use free ARP XP to research my modules, and so I have a fully upgraded 7.1 here, and again for this tank, it does play again, like I said, a lot like a heavy. But the first game I think I had in this, I took 12 shots, only penetrated 2, much like the frustration I had with my 44. And I don't know whether I just kind of figured out what I was doing finally, and or if whatever happened, but I did suddenly figure out how to play this thing, and this thing is just beastly. I stopped here for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's the last shot I believe I'll even get off in this game. We're up 14-10, so we're about to close this thing out. I had forgotten all about this as I was playing this game, but I was actively pursuing medium tank personal mission number 15, which is to kill 2 tank destroyers, is the primary mission, which I just killed with that shot, my first tank destroyer, or my second tank destroyer. I'd killed the RHM just before that. And the secondary objective is to survive. If you do both of those, then you'll get your, I got my first female crew member. I won $50,000 or 50,000 credits, excuse me, as a bonus for doing the secondary mission. And of course won 5, whatever they call them, the boxes that will get you towards the prize tank, which is a Stug of some sort, which is the first reward tank for the personal mission. So with that shot right there, and with my subsequent ability to stay alive against the last enemy tank, I completed all 15 missions of the medium. So that was fun. At any rate, I didn't even know that. I had forgotten all about it as I was actually in the game. It wasn't until the game was over and I saw the reward screen pop up, and I said, oh, heck, I forgot all about that. But as you see, I think a little bit about going to chase down this 5120 here. Then I decide my teammate's going to get him, so I don't need to do anything. And again, like I said, then I realized that I did, in fact, complete the mission successfully. First and second primary and secondary goals. So my main reason for bringing this, I'm gonna show you the after battle report now. And you can see as you look at this after battle report, I mean, it was nothing fantastic, but my whole point in bringing this to you was simply because you probably hear a lot of good things about this, but for me, I just didn't like it at first. So it took me several games to figure out how to pen with a gun. Like I said, the first or second game I played with this thing took 12 shots, penned 2 of them. I was frustrated as could be with this thing, but I remembered the exact same deal on my T-44. So this reminds me much of that. You can see I had decent, 48,000 credits with premium, 2,700 for a double in XP. See, I had the most damage in the game for either team, 3,452, 3 kills, 921 XP, which I was out XP'd by this RHM, but again, pretty good result for me. I think this is the most damage I've had in this tank. You can see if you look here, I did in fact shoot 12 shots. I hit on 10 of them, and penned all 10 of them for almost 3,500 damage. I did receive 4 and get penned 4 times as well. Again, several of those by the T-49, 2 of them at least. So didn't do much in terms of spotting damage. It didn't really go very far. But again, you can see that's a pretty decent result. I'm pretty pleased with that result. I don't think it's the first time I've gotten the second class award on this. But again, this is a very good tank, fully upgraded. Again, it's the only way I've driven it. But if you're moving into this tank, or about to move into this tank, or you just moved into this tank, you might prepare for just a little bit of frustration. Again, maybe you're just a far better player than me if you're watching this, and you won't have the same frustration levels that I did. But it certainly did for me. But every single time I play this tank, I fall more and more in love with it. Frankly, right now, I don't know, I have 20, 25 battles in the thing maybe, and I have about a 63 or 64% win rate in it. So I win a lot in it. I just took a while to figure out how to play it. So that's all. I just wanted to bring this to you because I hadn't brought a World of Tanks one. This is really the first even battle that was worthy of even sharing that I've had in a few weeks. So I wanted to share it with you. And just let you know, if you're just getting into this thing, again, maybe you'll experience some frustration, maybe you won't, but it is an extraordinary tank once you get yourself feeling comfortable in it. So until next time, this is Crosstrain from World of Tanks, and as always, I wish you peace.